今日から新しい時オタクが始まります。第1弾は天才発明家であり、起業家、そして親日家のオタクでもあるパーマー・ラッキーさんに話を伺いました。舞台はもちろん秋葉原。Let's go. Palmer Lucky, welcome to Japan.
Of course, it's good to be back. Well, I've been coming to Japan for a really long time. I started my first company, Oculus VR, building virtual reality headsets when I was 19 years old. And that was back in 2012. One of the first places we really got traction was in Japan. It was one of our largest customers. There's a lot of video game developers who are actually here in Akihabara. And so I ended up coming to Japan 3 or 4 times a year, working with game developers, working with component suppliers who are giving us components that we used in the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset. And that was when I really fell in love with Japan. I had grown up watching anime and playing a lot of Japanese video games. I'm really happy that Anduril is opening an office now here because now I have an excuse to start coming here again more regularly.
So what does this remind you of? Like, what do you see here that I don't see yet?
Well, the thing that you have in Akihabara is a lot of electronics companies, a lot of animation companies, and then of course the things that cater to fans of all of that. So you've got a lot of trading card stores, anime figure stores. I'm an anime figure collector myself. I own about 1,500 vinyl figures, and I have an entire wall of my house that's dedicated to them. The only place you're going to find used figures in this kind of volume where you have everything is in Akihabara.
I mean, does this mean anything to you?
Oh yeah, no. Look, I grew up doing this sort of thing. Here we go. This is where I was trying to take us. So follow me. So one of the cool things about Akihabara is they have some of these small consignment electronics stores. Each of these cubes is actually a store for somebody. So I basically pay a fee to rent this cube, and they're all like a mini store. So this is like a tiny little vintage camera store. This is like a teeny tiny retro game store. So these are Game Boy Color cartridges over here. So you've got an original Tetris. That's actually one of the Russian cartridges. So it's a relatively rare even here in Japan, which is why it's selling for as much as it does. So like if you read what this guy says, he actually has his whole little story. He used to be game shop staff in an Akihabara game store, and then he decided that they were overpriced, and so he decided to set up his own chain of little tiny cube stores. And he says, the smallest but best retro game shop in Akiba. I collect hand-painted vinyl figures in particular. Actually, that 02 figure at the bottom over here on the low left is one of the ones that I have. So that one at least is familiar to me. Sorry, I have to buy one of these.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I like taiyaki in general, but this particular place has the license with the Pokemon company to make Magikarp taiyaki. Magikarp is a completely useless Pokemon that basically has no purpose. But if you train it at level 40, it can evolve into Gyarados, which is an extremely powerful Pokemon. I'm a big Gyarados fan, therefore a big Magikarp fan, and this is the only place to get the official Magikarp taiyaki. Hitotsu number 5, Hitotsu number 4, onegaishimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you. How is it?
Always good. So people have been asking me where I'm going to move if I get a place in Japan, and I always tell them if I get a place in Japan, it's going to be on this footprint because that view is one of my favorite views in Japan, right down the main street of Electric City.
You've always taken risks in your career.
That's right.
From day one. Talk to me about that.
I think that it's important to take risks. It's important to take calculated risks, and most importantly, it's important to commit to a path. There's a lot of people who run their businesses with optionality. And I actually feel the same way about personal relationships. A lot of people, they try to maintain optionality in business, but also in romance, also in decisions they make about where to live. I'm a big fan of going all in on whatever it is you're doing. I'd rather try the very best version of 10 different ideas than try to just shoot down the middle and be boring the whole time, because that's rarely how you have a big impact on the world. There's not a lot of impact to be had doing what everyone expects you to do.
So now you're all in on a company called Anduril.
That's right.
Tell us what Anduril is.
Anduril is a defense products company that uses its own money to develop defense products and defense technology that is used to protect America America's allies and America's partners. The reason I started this company is because I realized the United States was falling behind in a lot of critical technology areas, and we were seeing a lot of our best talent going to work on things that might make money, but they don't make a difference. The thing that we're announcing right now is that we're opening up an engineering and manufacturing office here in Japan, because we're going to be doing a lot more work in Japan, not just using Japanese components, but building weapon systems in Japan. The United States and Japan have a very, very close relationship, not just culturally or economically, but also militarily. It's really important that the United States and Japan continue to share military technology and that we use a lot of the same weapon systems. You don't want Japan to have completely different missile technology than the United States. You don't want the United States to have completely different radar systems than Japan has. If they're using the same technology, then it's easier to train together, it's easier to fight together, it's easier to win together, and we certainly form a much stronger deterrent block than if we're using totally fractured different technology from each other.
So you're building a defense technology company for the future.
I'm doing my very, very best. It's what I think the future of defense looks like. I think that the defense industry needs to be a lot more agile. We need to be scaling up arms production. We need to be bringing new technologies into actual fielding and deployment, and we need to be getting it done in the next year or two. We don't have that much time. What the United States is doing, and I think what Japan is doing, is trying to build a set of technologies, political positions, and movements that deter violence. The idea is that if the United States, Japan, and the rest of our allies and partners in the region, if we do the right things, we can have Xi Jinping wake up tomorrow and say, not today. I'm not going to make the move today. We need to make sure that he keeps saying that tomorrow and the next day and next year and next decade. China is opening up Pandora's box. They don't just believe that they deserve to have Taiwan. They want the Philippines, they want Korea, they want Japan, they want Vietnam, and it's important that we stop that in its tracks and hopefully make them a part of the international community on some timeline. Maybe I'll end with this really crazy bit. I'm hoping that someday we're able to sell weapons to China. And I know that sounds crazy when you look at the current geopolitical position, but look where we're standing. And we fought a world war with Japan. And in one generation, inside of one generation, there are people in Japan and the United States still living who fought each other to the death. And now they're one of our strongest trade partners, military partners, and cultural partners. I don't think there's any reason that you can't imagine the same thing happening for a reformed China. And if they can do that, I hope that we can be really great friends with them.
That's the future.
That's the future, I think. I think the future is hopefully that all the superpowers get along and people stop engaging in expansionist military action.
Palmer Luckey, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.